This is the free motion quilting tutorial for globes of matrix. This design is stitched by first stitching a large circular shape. And once you finish your circle, you're going to go inside of it and fill it with matrix. And that is stitched by stitching first very gently waving lines in one direction, and then changing direction and stitching across the wavy lines with more wavy lines in another direction. So you can see right now I'm filling half of the circle with wavy lines, and now I'm going to stitch the opposite side with wavy lines, and I'm just stitching these right across, so that way it kind of creates almost like a wavy grid. And this creates almost an optical illusion. It really looks interesting, especially when you combine it with the circular shape. I think it almost looks like planets or galaxies kind of stacked together. Now you can see I've gotten back to that other side, and I'm going to finish up stitching the matrix to the edge of this circle, and then I'll finish up the last set, and then we'll move on to the next circle. It's a very simple design, but really you want to start with big circles. You can see how big the circle was that I started with. It's about the size of a quarter, and you really want to start with larger circles rather than the small pebbling size circles, so that way your design really shows off. This is a stacking design, so you're going to stack the shapes together. You see how I just simply took that next circle and stacked it right on top of the circle before it. And that's how you move from shape to shape in this design. You just simply stack on another circle, fill the circle, and then move on. Very, very simple. Because of the way it's stitched, you can fit this into just about any area of your quilt. However, if you're going to try and fit these globes of matrix into a very tight or complicated area, you might have some problems simply because they really show off the best when they're nice and big, when they're about the size of a quarter or bigger. So I would advise using them where you have a little bit of open space and you can really show off with this texture on your quilt. They also are quite attention-getting. They're quite eye-catching. And because of that, you also want to watch where you place them, because they can distract from other motifs or designs you have going on in your quilt. So definitely keep that in mind wherever you place them. They are a very easy design. You can see it's not very challenging. There is a little bit of traveling involved in order to get the matrix to fit in evenly in all areas of the circle, but pretty much it's not extremely challenging. It's just a matter of precisely stitching, traveling, and echoing. So here you can see I've filled most of the block, and now I've gone in, I've had this little open area, and I'm going to fill that with a very small globe of matrix. Very small indeed, but it finishes it off. It keeps it consistent. There are some open patches here and there, but nothing too big that would really distract the eye. And if you want to, you can always go in and fill it in with a small circle. And here's what it looks like when you finish globes of matrix. For over 200 videos, just like this one, on free motion quilting, plus loads of tools and supplies just for this wonderful hobby, check out daystyledesigns.com.